is fresh for 2018. We are live. We are live, Walter. It's just me and you, Walter. I hope you got your big girl panties on. I know I got my big girl panties on. We're doing jazz hands. Walter's doing jazz hands with some kind of
mortar round.
A mortar. Probably not the best thing to be doing jazz hands with it, but I'm sure it's inert.
It's inert. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening, yes, it's inert.
Yes, we are live. This is episode. I have no clue. Oh, actually, I think I've got the episode number labeled wrong in our thing, so I better change that right now. This is episode 174. Excuse me, of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. I just realized that I'm actually looking at it right now, and I'm like, what? The episode number is not right. There, I just changed it. So this is episode 174, people. Okay. We had about a little bit more than a week off.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys missed us. Did you miss me, Walter? Did you miss me?
It's nice to have a break. Nice to have a break.
Wait a second. That is not an answer to the "Did you miss me?" question.
I miss my wife. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you.
Gee, thanks, Walter. I really appreciate that.
Tyven filled in temporarily for you.
I see.
And that was quite interesting, to say the least. So, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, so I was in Vegas. I was doing the broadcasting show all of last week. Walter was working, and then was it just a weekend that you were out at Knob Creek?
We left on Wednesday, so for us it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How was it? How was the creek?
It was all right. It was a little slower business-wise, but Thursday the weather was nice. Friday the weather was nice. Saturday it rained in the morning, and it was kind of it stopped raining on the rest of Saturday. Then Sunday morning it was raining again in like 48 degrees.
Okay.
So we hung out till around 1 o'clock and hauled buggy.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Cool. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that and a whole bunch of other things. Shout out and thanks to everyone who's joining us live, guys. Please don't forget to thumbs up. We need as many thumbs ups as we can get. That's going to help the folks out there be notified that we're here and we're doing this.
Yep.
So smash those thumbs ups. Let's get that going. Also share this if you can. I've shared it. I'm sure Walter shared it, but let people out there know that we are indeed back and we're talking about stuff. There's lots of things that we're going to talk about here tonight. I'm going to go down the list and shout out everyone here in the chat in a minute. A couple of things I want to do. One, to the moderators in the chat, please make sure that you allow Ghetto Hood Gamer to come back on. I think I really want to thank everyone that moderates the chat, and I know sometimes they get flack from people out there because they're a little zesty. They're a little zesty, my moderators, but
we got some hard ass moderators.
Yeah, but that's good. I love them. But Ghetto Hood Gamer got banned for some reason, and he asked me to request that you guys allow him back into the fold. So Brother Numpsy has forgiven him. Brother Numpsy. I don't know if anyone knows where the hell that comes from.
You got me. I don't know.
Yeah, if you know where that comes from, let me know. The other thing I want to talk about, Ermey has passed.
Oh, we need to have a moment of silence.
Yes, we do. We need to have the moment of silence for Ermey, a great, awesome gun guy, great man, a fantastic actor, one of the hardest working people in the business. Walter, when we were at SEMA show, we saw Ermey. Remember?
Yeah, he had a line there, and he didn't look real good. He looked tired. So
yeah, but he was still working.
He was working it. Yeah, and he does it until the last guy in line's done. So
yeah. So let's go now. Let's have a little bit of moment of silence for him, and then we are going to talk about him and all the things and our memories of him and all that kind of stuff. I know Walter's got some good memories. I've got some good memories of him. So let's do that moment of silence right now. Take a minute, starting right now. All right, man. Arlie Ermey.
The Gunny.
Yeah,
Yes.
Gunny. That was awesome, dude. That was an awesome dude. So I mean, let me do the shout outs to everyone, and then we're gonna go down and talk about him. But you know, that's like some really bad news that we heard about yesterday.
Yeah.
I think he was 74 years old, you know, lived like the life of an American hero, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you know, the old school dudes, man, the old school dudes are passing out of the world. So it's unfortunate. It's only, you know, only guys like me and you left, Walter. The world is in trouble.
There's still some old guys around.
Yeah, there's still some of those like old school guys out there, but
I saw some of them this weekend.
Yeah, he's definitely one of them. So let me go in here. Let me just quickly shout out everyone. Try to stick to the script of what we do here. I see Joe Carpenter was in, Kentucky Firearms Network, Justin E. The Tyven Show is in. He says thumbs ups, Kentucky. Michael Bender, Carl Compton, Boss Hog. The Archangel is in here as well. Shout out to Archangel. Chris Bullis, SoCal Gunner, Laggy McLaggy Lag. I like saying that. Richard Hughes is also in here. Let's see who else. Matt Main, Imposter says hi all. Robert Harris says good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And good evening. It's like one of those, you know. What the heck is going on here with my scroll? Okay, here we go. Got the scroll back. Caviar Hound. Let's see who else. Carl Compton. He says thumbs ups, everyone. And I know I thank everyone for hitting the thumbs ups. We really do appreciate that. It helps. It helps a lot. So
Richard Hughes, I'll explain the Knob Creek when it happens, when we get done with the call out shout outs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're definitely going to get to
Knob some Creek. Pages coming to that too. So
yeah. So Frank Castle has it. This is a quote I believe from Gunny. Frank Castle that he put in here. He says, "Tonight you pukes will sleep with your rifles. You will give your rifle a girl's name because this is the only pussy you people are going to get." I didn't do it any justice. So there you go. That's good stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that was good. Thanks for that. I see DCG 44S or 44s. He says thumbs up. Let's see who else is in here. Armament and Axes is in here. What's up?
No, I got distracted like normal.
Oh, what? Hold on. Let's see. What are you getting distracted by?
Tropic Gun Girl put a post up on Instagram. I'm trying to do some shameless self-promotion, and then that pops up, and I completely lose my train of thought.
Yeah, you get distracted.
I can't help it.
It's so easy.
Bless her heart.
Yeah, and all the parts.
Yeah.
Let's see who else is in here.
That goes without saying.
Yeah. What is this? Fada Shellery? Fada Shellery, 76254R. William Hoffman. Let's see who else. Chris Illog. Shout out to Chris Illog as well. Chris Illog has a badass Tundra, a new Tundra. Congratulations on that, Chris.
Yeah, cool.
You know, I'm a fan of the Toyota trucks, the pickup trucks, as well as the 4Runner is also pretty badass, which I got one of those. And let's see who else. I see MW Tactical is also in here. Ron and Ron. Ron and Ron says, "Yeah, Hank. Oh, he says, yeah, Hank. Oh, good to have you and the posse back. The posse is back. That's right. We may have some other people joining. It may not just be me and Walter, but we'll see, Walter.
Okay, that's cool.
We'll see who we get. Weston Probst says, "What's up, folks?" Let's see who else is. LB Louis Cipher is in here. I was in Vegas, LB Louis Cipher. So, you know, if you're I think there was like one person in my I recently gave out my number, and I've been asking people to like fill out the form when they get in touch with me. And what that does, if you put your information in there, it lets me know like exactly where you are. So if I'm in your town or around your area, I could let you know that I'm in town, and we can maybe like hang out, have breakfast, have a drink, have lunch, or something like that. I did reach out. I'm not sure if LV Louis Cypher is up on that yet, if he knows about it or not. But I did reach out. There was like one dude, so I'm not sure if that was LV Louis Cypher, but I know I reached out to the one person there in Vegas. I see Tango Hunter, Bill Butcher, Bayou Metal, Jacob Chambly, James Lawson, Richard Harper, All Thumbs, Rod D, Psycho 316, Mr. FNH, Greg 98K, Brixman. Greg 98K said finally. And Brixman said, "Where the hell y'all been?" Condolences to the Gunny and his family and friends. Yeah. Another thing, if you guys are in my email list, I did tell everyone in the email list that we weren't going to be here all of last week. So I don't know if you're in my email list. If you want to get into my email list, it's hankstrange.tv. So go to www.hankstrange.tv, and you can actually put in your email address, and you'll get on the mailing list. And what we're doing now is like every Friday. Sometimes if there's other things that come up, we'll send out an email. But every Friday we're putting out an email newsletter and letting people know what's going on. So let's see what else is going on here. And I think that's pretty much it. Clint Sanders. I see Clint Sanders. Joseph Carney says, "What's up?" By the way, Joseph Carney, that's my boy right there. I know Joseph Carney personally. I know him. He's one of the dudes that works at Big Daddy Guns, and he's in the thing here. And he tells me that he watches the show all the time, and he always comments, and I don't shout him out. So shout out to Joseph Carney. Clover Tack as well is in here. Let's see. Hollywood AR19. Joseph Carney gave his thumbs ups. Thank you. We appreciate it. Let's see who else. Steve Lemieux. Jeremy Hollick. Music Lover. BRA94. Brian Quick. Rob Gross. Krinkov 545. Matt Main. There's a whole bunch of people in here. I don't know. Let me see who else. Recall Junkie 1981. I think I got you. Pyro Know It All. Andrew Slag. Okay, there's a whole bunch of people. David G is here. Okay, so that's everyone. If I missed you, just let me know and I will hit you up. I'm getting like a bunch of messages. So what was it you wanted to talk about, Walter? Do you want to talk about the Gunny first? Tell our Gunny stories. I think that'd be.
Yeah, we could do that real quick.
Yeah. I
first met him, or had I waited in line to stand in line to see him, was at the SOFIC show in Tampa. I believe that was the first time. Really nice guy. Takes time to talk to you. Doesn't push you off. Like, oh yeah, we can see you later. Has conversation with you. And we actually, I gave him at the SOFIC show. I had a knife laser engraved for the show as like a thing I was giving away to people. And I gave him one, and he got one of the guys from Glock to go in the back and grab the Glock knife, signed it, and gave it to me. So that's one of the times. And then I've also seen him at the SHOT Show, and my wife and my daughter both went and saw him at the SHOT Show. Really nice guy. Just always had something to, he didn't just sign your thing and say next. He would always talk to you and spend a little time with you after you waited an hour in line to see him. Oh, when Peggy went to one,
and it was an hour, by the way.
Yeah, one time when she went to, was it SHOT Show? SHOT Show. Since he was the voice of the lead Army guy in Toy Story, she had him sign an unopened box of Legos. So that was the first time he said he ever did it. So this is a limited thing. Mm-hmm. But anyways, yeah, nice guy.
That's cool. Yeah, and he was the voice of Sarge in the.
Yeah, I think Toy Story. Yeah.
Yeah, the Green Army Man.
Yeah, Green Army Gun. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, good guy. Second Amendment kind of guy, military guy. No mamsy pamsy stuff with the Gunny, Oh,
I got that too.
Also, she got one of his challenge coins.
Yep. There you go.
So yeah, good guy.
Yeah. I remember. Gunny. Oh, what did you? There you go. Look at that.
Yep, more signed swag.
And you know what the thing is? Gunny signed a lot of stuff, man. If you ever saw the lines,
oh yeah,
the lines of people waiting for Gunny, those were long lines, and he stayed there the whole time until he signed for everyone.
Right. Yeah, and then if he was out, if it was his time, there was a line. It wasn't like he just walked right up to him. That wasn't the case. So
yeah. And one time, I have this here at one of the SHOT shows. Here's Lola and I actually stood on. Wait, let me see if I could lock this in, and if you guys could see this, I might have to put it in. So there's Lola with Gunny, and if you notice, she's got 2 of his posters in there that we got signed. I actually gave one of those posters to a friend of mine that that's a Marine. And then the other one I gave to Babyface that Babyface has, and he says he's going to bring it in here and frame it up and everything. And it's going to get a place of honor here. And that was, you know, if you saw him at SHOT Show, but any show, he was at SEMA show.
Right.
He did a lot of different shows. And I mean, the line was like around and down the steps.
Right.
You could stand in that line for more than 2 hours. And the whole time he would be there, and he was nice to everyone and friendly with everyone. And he signed stuff and took pictures and all of that. So
not like some of these bums that charge you for their signature and charge you for a picture and everything else. So
yeah, I think he's like one of the most awesome gun guys out here. Now here's another picture of me and him, and this is let me see if I can get this to focus. This is at SHOT Show Media Day. I'm trying to get
at the range.
Yeah. Let me see if we can. I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go. So this was SHOT Show Media Day 2014, actually, and we've got Rod Mills coming in. So it was SHOT Show 2014. Do you remember when the Glock 43 came out? No, 42. Glock 42. The 380, and everyone, not just me, but a lot of people were like, why the hell do we need a 380 Glock? And I remember going to Media Day, and I saw Gunny there, and I was talking to him, and he was real nice and everything, and he was like, hey, have you shot the Glock 42? And I was like, no, man, I have no interest in shooting that piece of crap. And he said to me, he said, look, you know what? My favorite caliber is 10 millimeter, okay? But you know, he was like, I'm not just saying this to you because I work for these guys. He was like, I didn't want to like it either. I thought it was going to be crap myself until I shot it, and I thought it was cool. And he was like, for me, just do me a favor and go out there and shoot it. And if you still hate it, come back, you know, and tell me, and it's all good. But I want you to actually shoot it first. And I went and shot that thing, and I was like, wow, this is a game changer. The Glock 42, and it was a game changer. Right. And I wound up buying it. I did videos on it and all that, and then I graduated from that to the Glock 43, which I carry every freaking day, including now.
And I have the 42.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, that's the thing about him. You know, he was like one of those straight up kind of dudes that even though he was in the gun business and working for Glock, I think, how long did he work for Glock?
I think I saw the Glock announcements, which I reposted. I think it said 14 years, something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Rod Mills is showing his Glock. So we're just, what's up, Rod?
Glock 43, baby.
Yeah, we were just talking about Gunny. You know, he passed yesterday.
Yeah, man. I you know, when I saw him at NRA last year, man, you know, I was like man, you know, I don't want to cast any type of anything bad on him. I'm like, man, he didn't look good. And I was like, maybe it's just how he looks in person, not on TV. But I'm thinking to myself, like, man, you know, and it's ironic though, man. I hate to say this, man, but when I saw Al Davis at one of the games here in Jacksonville, you know, I said the same thing, and he died about 6 months later.
Damn it!
Yeah. The next time you see me, don't say anything.
Don't say I look bad or nothing, please.
Don't even think anything, Rod. Okay?
I promise, man, because when I saw Gunny, you know, I don't know if you saw it was a hell of a line to get his autograph last year at NRA, and I was like, you know, man, I would like to get in line to get this, but I'm like, hell, I think that was when Daniel Defense was having those that free giveaway with the, you know, the free rifles they give away every day there. So I had to go to Daniel Defense, and man, and put my little card in, and you know, to go ahead and get in the raffle.
Did you win a rifle?
Man, I didn't win anything.
Yeah,
you know what?
That would have been better invested on that line.
Yeah, that was my first NRA, man. At the Gun Collective, I didn't win a damn thing. I knew I was going to win something.
I thought
Huh?
you got something from the Gun Collective.
I got that blue bag they gave everybody with the goodies in it.
Okay, then you won. You won right there.
Well, I won because I snuck in with you.
Yeah,
And,
that's what it is.
You know, and nobody said anything. I'm like, okay.
No, you won because you were with Hank Strange. That's why you won.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I was like, man, we're like the only black guys in the whole room, you know. And so I'm assuming they thought I was one of your cameramen or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or Lola's little brother or something, or big brother.
Yeah. You know what? The thing is, man, I know that when I did see him at SHOT Show, but Walter and I saw him at the right before, or a couple of months, I guess, before SHOT Show, because we go to SEMA Show, and that's in November, right, Walter? Yeah. So in November, we saw him at SEMA Show, and you know, he looked a lot thinner than he's looked in the past and everything, but he was still out there working, man, and working hard. So I respect that.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he got that old man that could work like that and be on the circuit. You know, man. Hey, I gave him all praise, but he was a good guy, man. You know, my main. I think about Full Metal Jacket, my most famous line when he said that he said something about you were like the brown stain that ran out your mama's crack down, you know, something like that. I'm like, man.
And you know, like Gunny probably really said that shit to lots of people in this world. There's Marines running out there. They've heard that many times from Gunny. Someone sending me, I think it's Joel sending me pictures of him with his Glock. Let me see if I can get that in there. People are throwing up their Glocks. I don't know if that's quite getting up there. We're working on the better setup here, everyone. So pretty soon you guys are gonna see the production here is gonna get bumped up a little notch. We're working on that. We were working on it right before we came on and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna be able to do this a lot better than I'm doing it right now. So
you won't look like you're on death's door or something?
Well, yeah. So is that how do I look terrible?
No.
I mean, I kind of like that. It's got that
no fuds.
I got my no fuds from Iraq veteran right there. Forge from Freedom. That's my Forge from Freedom T-shirt. Rock. That's Eric came up with this design right there. No fuds.
That's one of your protest shirts.
Yeah, I had to wear it. So you know, there you go. That's Eric's idea. So it's not my idea, but you can get it on Forge from Freedom. That's where a lot of us have our T-shirts. So you guys should check that out. I was trying to get Sam to come on. We haven't seen Sam on here in a while, so I'm trying to see what these guys are talking about right now. Are you going to this year's NRA, Rod?
Oh, come on, man. You know I'm there.
Oh, okay.
You know I'm going to be there. I get in, Friday morning.
Okay.
So we got a couple of new guys that are coming with my crew this year. So, you know, we're you know, once we get to the airport, we got a rental car that, you know, SUV we're going to get. And then we're going to head over there. Now, you know, one thing with NRA, man, the first day I get there on Friday, I usually don't get into the in-depth of what is going on. I have about a short list of different manufacturers that I know I want to see. And what I'll do is I'll just go and kind of scope out where they are. I won't more so, you know, get into the touching of the guns and everything. It's really just walking around and just seeing things. And then Saturday is when I actually concentrate on, you know, okay, let me look at this particular gun, because I got a short list of different guns that I kind of want to look at and see what they got going on. So, you know, yeah, that's what I usually do with that.
Okay, cool. Walter, are you going to NRA this year? No, right? Okay.
Oh man, come on!
I'm gonna stay home and work, man. I got too many people want my stuff. I gotta work.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know. I thought about it, and then I was like, NRA pissed me off a little bit too. So
I think they pissed all of us off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know, I don't know.
I talked to Adam Kraut last week, and he gave me the information on where the gun collective is going to be. It's actually it's a venue right across the street from the K. Bailey Hutchinson Center. And, you know, and it's kind of wild because Saturday is going to be a long day because, you know, I like to get up there like about maybe 9 o'clock to the NRA and kind of beat the long lines. But if you're there from 9 o'clock, and I'll probably leave around maybe 4:30, the Gun Collective is having their thing starting at 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock that night. So that's going to be a hell of a long day there.
Yeah, you know, here's my thing on the NRA show, right? With everything that's happened, all the things that we're suffering right now, right? The reason that we had to have all these rallies this past weekend and the ones that came before that, the ones that are going to come in the future, all the stuff that's going on, a lot of that has to do with the NRA. And I'm pretty pissed off about it, not very happy with the NRA at all. And the thought went through my mind of like, you know what, screw this. I'm not even going to go to this thing or do it. But here's why I am still going to go. Because this is the one time that I get to interact with the people out there who have supported me all this time, you know? And I think that's what I would, you know, I don't think the NRA is going to give a crap if I don't go. But I think that there's people out there who support Lola and I, who support all of us here. And if I don't go, those people miss out on seeing us and hanging out with us for a little while. And so that's the reason why I'm going to go. But trust me, I am going under protest to that nonsense.
Well,
yeah.
One of the things was I was kind of Johnny lately, you know, kind of late on the draw for that. So getting some place to stay, and it was going to end up being a couple $1,000 trip probably. So, you know, getting around and hotels and all that stuff. I said, I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fun. I'll miss out on some cool stuff, but hey.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. We have to come up. We have to figure out a way to do something else that the people can benefit from.
Right.
You know, there has to be another way to do something, because I'm still mad. I'm going to continue. Someone's sending me pictures of Gunny. There goes Gunny. This is Gunny saying right here. I think he's saying you're all a bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what he's saying right there.
Unfortunately, the military is not like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, they can't even hit you.
No?
Nah, they can't hit you. Nah.
I thought when you signed up, you signed away your life on the dotted line.
Nah, it's not quite like that anymore.
No.
They can do what they want.
Yeah, they can. You know, if you'll notice, they can get in your face. They can PT the hell out you.
Yeah,
but
you can wish you did.
Yeah,
not even one like one swift boot to the ass. They can't do it.
Nah. Now I'm going to share this with you. And
now you don't go hit the DI though. I can tell you that.
No. Oh hell no. Now then you getting your ass whooped in. You know. But I will say that I was when I was in basic, I was the platoon guy, and that's like the platoon leader in the Army. And I had a drill sergeant actually bring me to tears. And it wasn't a tear that I got my feelings hurt. It was a tear that I couldn't knock the hell out of him. You know,
I was mad.
And I was mad. But yeah, man. Actually, my drill sergeant says that he might. One of my drill sergeants that I keep in touch with, he said he might try to make it up to Dallas. He lives in Houston right now. And man, when I tell you, man, that dude could sing his butt off. Man, I mean, I hated PT, but I will tell you this, man, when he get to singing and you get all those cadence going, I mean, you forget that you're running. I mean, it's more like, oh man, you know, then you start doing the suicide. We call it suicide, where you be in PT formation, you be running all in the formation, and then you all of a sudden get out of formation and run around the whole unit while they're still PTing and running and get back in your place. Now that takes a whole lot of extra effort to do that. And you know, I can say I may have done it maybe once, you know, just once. I got a little motivated, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like fun.
It is. Hey, it would have been fun being in boot camp with you, man. You would have been that guy that would have been telling jokes in formation, I can tell.
Yeah, I have problems with authority. So I would have definitely been getting my ass whooped on a regular, constant basis.
Well, we call it smoked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been but you would have been that cool guy that would have been like, you know, telling us all kind of weird stories, and you know, while we're out in the field and everything and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, so Richard Harper says, I hated my drill sergeant the first day and loved the man 12 weeks later.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, now Richard, do you remember Shark Attack? I can tell you, man, I don't know, I don't have that drill sergeant voice, but we were in what we call downrange. You go from like the initial I can't even think of the name of it, but you go down to where help me out, Walter. Oh man, like orientation. So you're in like in the orientation area of when I was at Fort McClellan area. So basically that's when you're getting your haircut, you're getting your new BDUs, you're getting acclimated to military life, and then they send you downrange. And downrange is when you actually get to meet your real live basic training or drill sergeants, and you're on a school bus, and they get you this big rucksack or bag, and then you put it on like you're pregnant, and we're sitting in the school bus, and we see like 10 drill sergeants outside circling the bus, saying, "Get out of here! Get out of here!" And we're scared as hell. And then you get this one drill sergeant I never forget, man. This dude had a chin about 1.5 miles long, and he had his that brown round would come down to his eye like a state trooper, and he said, "You ladies on here, you got 5 seconds to get off my bus. Get out of here now!" And I'm like, oh, I'm like, what in the hell? Then you got all these drill sergeants yelling at you. Go YouTube it, man. It's on there. It was fun when you think about it now. It wasn't fun when we was going through it.
No, but, only in the memories would that be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, Walter, just like for anyone who wants to know out there, Walter, you didn't serve in the military, right? No,
I don't. Close don't count. But I had a friend that went in the Marines, and he wanted me to go, and I said, nah. And then later on, at one point when I wasn't like working, and I was like, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, maybe I'll go in this, And then I balked. You know?
Walter's into the military vehicles. Now, maybe in a past life.
Maybe
in a past life, he was some kind of tank commander. Rod, he was German tank commander.
German tanks.
Nazi.
Panzer.
Panther. My life would probably be a little different because I probably wouldn't have met some of the people I met as a result if I would have went in the military. But because it probably would have worked out time-wise, I might not even have met my wife. So,
wow.
But
Walter, you'd have been a good like either supply sergeant or
that's a good thing for me.
the armorer. I could picture you being the armorer.
Yeah, I like that. I wouldn't mind going to stealing a Jeep or a Humvee too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I would like to see how the Army would have fed Walter. Man, he would have been penny.
Well, I like the wheeling deal.
Okay. Let me see. Someone else. Double Wide Texas Pride says, I hated one drill sergeant and loved one by the end. I started out with double hate. Double hate. So yeah. There's a lot of much respect to everyone that did that, man. It's
that's
not an easy thing to do. Yeah. And when you live through it, even if I'm sure there was some really bad, horrible times, especially for all the guys that saw combat and all that. But whenever you look back, that's the weird way that our brains are engineered, right? You look back on that stuff, and if you survived it, you somehow reminisce about the
good times,
about the horribleness. Yeah.
Now, I was never in a wartime situation, but man, I loved. Now, I'm a city boy. But I will tell you this, man, I love going in the field, man. That was like vacation for me going out in the field, As a military police officer, we didn't hump anywhere. We rode Humvees everywhere. So, or deuce and a halves. So
excuse
man. Yeah, man. So, we rode around all the time, but it was fun, man, just being out there, man, getting Walter, you've been in the pup tent, right?
Oh yeah, well I've done a lot of camping with the Boy Scouts and stuff.
Yeah, so you wouldn't think that you can get 2 grown men in a little pup tent,
Not unless it's about to go Brokeback Mountain up in there.
but I can never forget, man. I laying on that PT mat and on that hard ground.
Is it raining probably or something?
Man, I didn't like it getting up in the morning, but once you got up and breakfast was there and you do all of that, you're good to go, man.
Yeah. Chris Illog says if I could turn back, I would join up all over again.
What was Chris in? Was he in the Army?
Yeah, Chris, tell us what you were in. I know everyone's putting up on there what they did and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Pyro Know It All says his dad was a drill sergeant, but a pushover at home. That's work. You put that. I guess you put that hat on or whatever. You just get busy.
Man, when I see that hat today, man, it brings back a little bit of fear in my heart. That brown round, man. I'm like, man, that thing is. Yeah,
and Richard Harper says he's got to go because his wife has a flat tire on the expressway. So absolutely, man. Handle that business. Feel bad about that, but go take care of the wifey, man. That's what it's all about.
We didn't have any problem driving up the creek this time, but a year ago we were going up through the middle of Atlanta in downtown in the rain. Got a flat tire.
Wow.
In Atlanta, I would have just kept driving.
It was pouring.
Yeah, whatever. Forget the tire.
And the people are whizzing by. I couldn't even see I could hardly see to get the jack underneath the car, until the roadside service guy came with a hydraulic jack. But he didn't help us change the tire. He just jacked the car up and watched. So. Oh,
okay. Now let me ask you: Do you have AAA?
No. It was just the the ones that do it. That are on the highway all the time.
You should definitely get AAA, man. I highly recommend AAA to people. Okay, it's a really.
We used to have it.
Yeah, I've had it for years and years. Let me see. That's like when we talk about EDC around here. I'll tell you guys right now, AAA is awesome. There. I'll show you. There goes my AAA card. You can see the top of it right there. Gold
platinum
membership.
You're a platinum member?
Yeah. I think am I a platinum member?
I don't know if there's a platinum.
It says I've been a member for like 9 years with AAA. And one of the things I like about AAA is it doesn't always have to be me. So the other day, one of my interns, Rashad, he came in and he was like, man, I just left my keys in my car. And he was so bummed out. And I was like, okay, don't sweat it. And we called up AAA. They sent someone over here, unlocked it, baby.
Boom.
Yeah. And there's lots of different things. Like I have the one that will tow an RV.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they'll tow an RV up to like 200 miles.
Whoa.
Yeah, in a day.
Yeah, one time when I did break down back in the 90s, I was going actually to Arizona to pick up a military vehicle thing, believe it or not. And my car, the transmission went out on it, and I got it towed to New Orleans, and it was like 100 miles. And then we fixed it. We fixed it in New Orleans, and my brother-in-law. And I finished my trip to Arizona. But
yeah. I would definitely, I don't get any money or anything from AAA, but I'm telling you guys, AAA is really, really, really super worth it, man. You should definitely do. And you get there's discounts and stuff like that you get for being in AAA.
Yeah. Yep.
But the money, I've used it all the time. I went somewhere, and it wasn't my vehicle either, and we got stuck. And this vehicle was supposed to be a 4x4 that we had, but it somehow didn't work, and it got stuck. And they came and towed us out of it. Lots of good things. They'll bring you gas if you break down. All that kind of stuff. So, they tow motorcycles and all that. I think it's a really good thing. Everyone should have AAA. And Walter, especially you, man, you should have AAA.
All right, we'll see. Do I get a discount because I know you?
Well, good luck with that one.
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna help you.
All right.
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Any of you guys remember that show called Night Court?
Yep.
Yeah.
I see TMZ just said that Harry Anderson just passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Harry Anderson, was he the judge on Night Court?
Yeah, he was a judge, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was.
Huh. How old was he? He wasn't that old.
65.
Wow. What is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Condolences out to his family.
It's-
Chris,
it
go ahead.
I said they go in threes. So who's next?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. Chris Illog says he was 7 years in the Air Force.
7 years.
Yeah.
Air
There you go.
Force.
Air Force.
Yeah, I actually thought seriously about the Air Force at one time when I was in high school, but I didn't. Then you know, of course.
I don't know how. Can I ask you a question? Don't take this personally.
What's that?
But how the hell are you getting into a jet fighter?
I actually, that was the thing that got me is I found out that
gotta be little itty bitty.
I couldn't fly, and then I kind of you could be on a flight crew, like you're on a C-130 or something like that, or I would be a good cargo master or load master in the plane because I have a good knack for packing things, you know, packing equipment. And
but you could not fit in a little tiny ass cockpit. You don't want to sit next to me on a plane. Two big dudes sitting right next to each other. Walter was like this. Never did.
Well, there were three of us. There was you, me, and another guy, and that was like
they put all three big dudes right there. Yeah, this will work.
You gotta. You know what? That's like when you're sitting there and there's one seat next to you, and you say, "Please, skinny girl. Please, skinny girl. Please, skinny girl." And here comes that big dude. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, SRW Williams is saying Art Bell passed away too.
Who?
Art Bell,
the late night radio guy, Art Bell.
Okay.
Like the overnight radio where you turn it on, and you're driving it late at night, and he's got the UFO guys on, and the guys that have been teleported up into the spaceship, and all these weird people on the show.
Wait, Walter, was this back in the 30s?
No,
no, I've heard it was back in 1830.
That sounds like something pre.
No, you never heard of Art Bell? It would come on like after 11 at night on AM channels and stuff like that.
I've heard that name before.
AM. Okay, well that explains why I never listened to it.
Yeah, it's like a late night driving truck driver thing.
Oh,
that. But some really weird shit. I mean, it's people.
Troy Cornett has heard of Art Bell. He says Art Bell was the man.
Yep. So
he said from the 90s.
Oh, from the 90s.
Is he saying 90s or he was in his 90s? I don't know. It might be he was in his 90s. So him and Walter might have grown up right next to each other.
So Walter, what happened in Knob Creek, man? The only thing I see from Knob Creek, Walter, was you showing pictures of your Safety Harbor sign. I'm like, where's all the good stuff?
What? Yeah. All right. Here,
you had to come. You had to be there.
Here's the deal, Rod.
Okay.
I've been going since 2000, right?
Oh, okay.
So, it's like and actually there's not as much of the good stuff anymore like there used to be. There's less machine gun dealers there, and so it's kind of changed a little bit. It's. Didn't you tell me last time you had to pay insurance or something? They were saying that all the vendors were going to have to get an individual insurance policy.
Wow.
Okay.
And they backed down on that because a lot of people said, "Look, I ain't going." So I looked into it. It would cost about $300 for the weekend to get a policy, $1 million worth of coverage, just for those 4 days or whatever. But they backed off on that. But now what they're saying is going to happen is normally Knob Creek happens in April and it happens in October, twice a year. They say the October shoot's going to happen again, and then they're going to go to a once a year format. So it's probably going to happen in September once a year instead of twice a year.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. So do you think that's better for you, or do you like going up there twice a year?
Well, we end up spending. I spend up a whole week basically getting ready and going. So I could live with once a year. I could.
Okay. So that wouldn't be too bad for you.
No, and they're going to do it. They always have it in April and October. And April's always a busy time. This time, like this last weekend, there was so much stuff going on. There was a shoot down here, the NFL review shoot. There was, the National Second Amendment rallies at the Capitals. That was going on. Plus, there was a bunch of other stuff going on too. So
Yeah, I see where Eric got shut. Eric Iraq veteran got shut down in Atlanta because they didn't have the police permits or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they shut that down.
So the rally that was going on in the Capitol in Georgia didn't go down at all.
Nope, it didn't go down at all. Nope.
I think that was a communist plot.
They had to pay for all this police protection, and it was like an enormous amount.
Wow.
I think they just do a flash mob. Forget about Popo.
Yeah. Listen, I know that some people were disappointed at turnouts in their areas. I wasn't able to make the one here because that was literally when I got back from the NAB show. But I heard the numbers were higher than the last time, so which is a good thing.
But once again, there's a lot of stuff going on this time of year. This time of April, there's a lot of events going on, so it's hard to. Sometimes people have other plans. I know Second Amendment, but still, if Mama says it's time to go somewhere, you're going to go where Mama wants to go, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, the family.
Yeah. So I carry my revolver in single action. Says, "Where you been, Hank and crew?" So. I have been in Las Vegas.
I have been in Kentucky.
Yes. We took about a week and maybe a couple of days off, right?
Yeah. I wasn't going out of town as long as Hank was, but
yeah. I was out of town for a while, and I was doing the broadcasting show.
Yeah.
And Walter was doing the Knob Creek machine gun shoot. So okay, so always what I want to know, Walter, since we're talking right now about you being out at the shoot, I want to know, what guns did you get me? Okay, I'm waiting.
He got quiet.
What? This sounds like a bad Knob Creek.
Yeah, Walter, come on now, man. We've been waiting a whole week for this.
A whole week.
I mean,
you didn't get it. Did you not get any guns?
I'll tell you what I got. You want to see some of the stuff I got?
I was just kidding. I know you didn't get me any guns.
I got a new knife.
Whoa, nice. What is that? Wait, hold on.
It's an auto knife that just goes in and out when you push the.
Yeah, but what? Okay,
it's not.
Really? It's an auto knife.
Yeah, but this is a cheap copy.
Right? Oh, okay.
This is a $40 copy.
Okay.
Got this for a toy. I found me a fuse from a mortar. I needed a fuse for the front. This is inert, everybody that's watching. There's nothing going on here. I don't
go boom.
I don't do go live mortars. No. Found that. Let me see.
Okay, but that's cool. Hold that. Wait. Let me take a look. Can you spin that around a little bit for us? Okay, so this is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, this is an 81 millimeter, 1954 vintage.
Yeah. Mortar. It's got that Art Deco look to it. It looks like those rocket ships they used to.
Are you going to paint it up?
Yeah.
I thought about it.
You know what, Walter?
Definitely going to paint this tip because this is not cool. But
I got something for you, man. Why don't you paint it like maybe all green and then put like the Safety Harbor logo? Paint the Safety Harbor logo on there.
And then what?
And then you can put it up there with all your other, your
down on the floor with all the rest of the inert ordnance. That's a possibility.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah,
or put it behind on that shelf right behind you.
Yeah. Well, I got too much crap up there already.
Well, the one directly behind you.
Oh, that's.
There's a lot of crap up there too.
Yeah.
Is that your high school diploma back there?
No, that's no. Those are Those are like what do you call it?
Those are naked pictures.
Drawings of
pictographs or something.
They're drawings of. They got a couple Russian soldiers with a Maxim machine gun.
Oh, okay.
Got a German guy with an MP40. They got some Americans with a 1919 and an M1 Garand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
By the way, everyone watching right now, guys, please hit the thumbs ups, okay? We need those. We need to get those thumbs ups going. We've got almost 200 people watching us. We haven't gotten to 200 thumbs ups yet, but we would appreciate it. Let's see what else Walter brought. Looks like an AK.
I picked up a Magpul stock for my PSL build, the Romanian PSL.
Oh,
I still got to do something up here, but I picked this Magpul stock.
Is that a folder?
No, it is not actually.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get one of those, but I settled for a non-folding one.
Okay.
Sometimes the creek, people come up to the table and they want to do some trading, swapping, And a guy comes up the table and he wants a trunnion for a Sten gun, machine gun, a replacement trunnion. And he says, "You doing any swapping?" And I said, "Well, what you got?" He said, "Got honey." And I'm like, but I looked at this jar.
That's some thick honey.
This looks like molasses, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he tells me that he lives up near Buffalo, New York, and he says these bees pollinate this Japanese, some kind of boxwood.
I was about to say those must be some African bees, though.
Some dark mofos, yeah. So the honey comes out dark because of these trees that these bees pollinate, and I guess it's a darker. I don't know how you describe the flavor. He said, "I'm not a big honey person, but I said, you know what? Give me a bottle. We'll swap." So he took he took my trunnion, I took his honey, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, that's not the first time those words were said. Have you tasted it? How does it taste?
Not yet. I am going to
taste it on air. Taste it on air live.
Yeah, let's see. Taste that black honey.
Once you go back, you never go back.
I hear that.
Now Walter's like, I don't know. Well, actually, I would like to know how that tastes. That probably is good.
Put a tip on your finger and lick it.
All right. Just for you guys. I don't usually do this stuff.
Yeah, let's get a spoon. Maybe Peggy can bring in a spoon.
The lid is on.
Go.
Okay, here we go. Walter's going in on the honey.
Put my finger in it.
Let's see. Is this good honey or not?
It's definitely different. I guess you'd say it has more of a woodsy taste, I guess.
Woodsy? Okay, yeah.
Woodsy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how you, like I said, I'm not a honey connoisseur. But it's sweet. I can tell you that.
Okay, cool. All right, there you go.
So, anyways, you saw it first live on.
That's probably good. That's probably good in tea. That's probably, especially.
It probably would be because tea is tea. You know, it's got that different flavor too. So
yeah,
I don't eat tea either. Drink tea either. So
you don't?
No,
me either.
I just like
only real men drink tea.
That's what it is.
I will drink some sweet tea from McDonald's though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably like water. Colored water and sugar.
I think that's like one of the last British holdovers with me, man. I have tea every.
All right. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Kentucky Farms Network. Zach was there. He had Snickers bars.
He did.
He had Snickers bars, and he insisted that I had a Snickers bar, and he hit us just right at the right time, and I consumed one in record time.
So you were also. First, dudes were giving you honey, and then dudes were giving you Snickers bars.
Slid me in a Snickers bar.
Yeah. Did you? I hope you just stayed away from Vans. Okay. I hope you stayed away from Vans because something bad would have happened to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hold on. I'm missing something. What happened with the Snickers thing? I mean,
well, Zach from Kentucky Farms Network was there. He works at the creek and does stuff there and lives close by. So
yeah,
he just said he was bringing Snickers bars and he had them. So.
Well, you don't eat Snickers?
No, I do. I do. It's just sometimes, it's like I don't know. Sometimes you got to be in the mood to eat just
a Snicker bar.
I'm trying to watch my figure. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I'm like, that's like saying, hey, I got to be in the mood to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to convince.
Yeah.
But, okay, so here a couple of things going on here. Mike Bryan says, "Good in tea?" ? What is it? Women's honey? I don't know. What's going on here with the tea?
Honey.
Aunt These Nuts says killer bees make darker honey than regular bees. And an Armament and Axis says a spot of tea.
A spot of tea?
Mummy, can I see a spot of tea?
Taking the tea, let's have a spot of tea right now.
Yeah. Earl Grey. Earl Grey is one of my favorite flavors of tea, yes.
A spot of tea.
You know what? While you guys were out of town doing your business thing, man, I will admit that I was looking at National Geographic.
Oh no, not the old ones with the native women in it.
No. Now I did used to look at the little magazines though. Hey, that was my soft porn back in the day. You know.
Oh, I like the Sears magazine. The Sears
catalog.
Catalog.
Oh yeah.
The back of the Sears catalog.
Yeah.
With all the lingeries.
That in the Sports Illustrated.
If Walter dies, that guy was a Russian spy. You might be right, Rob Rodriguez. Yeah.
Yeah. Gorillas and Guns says, "Want some candy, little Walter?"
Well, first thing, I'm not little, and secondly, yeah, sure.
But I actually was looking at National Geographic. I saw they had a special on Guyana, and they were saying that I didn't know that Guyana had all this gold there.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah. The gold rush guys have been down there in Guyana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guyana has a lot of gold. Guyana is incredibly rich in minerals, incredibly so. Guyana has the most waterfalls of any other country in the world.
Yeah.
And but there's lots of minerals in the ground. As a matter of fact, Reynolds wrap that makes the foil.
Reynolds
they used to be in Guyana. So there's lots of bauxite and all that kind of stuff there. There's oil there. There's lots of things there. Guyana is right on the equator, so it's a great place to launch rockets.
Oh yes, French Guyana.
And Guyana both. They're right there. And there's for that reason, like China's there right now. Chinese are there.
Yeah, the Chi-Coms,
Yeah, my some of my family members have gold mines over there, but
I remember the guy.
I don't benefit from that though.
The guy in the special said that everything, like when the sun goes down, everything in the jungle out there is can kill you, and you guys got some heavily venomous snakes there and all of that good stuff. I'm trying to picture Hank Strange running around, avoiding all this stuff.
Well, I mean, I left Guyana when I was 5 years old.
So, okay. I get
it. My my parents grew up there. I guess when they left, they were in their mid-30s or something like that. Mm-hmm. And my dad, Guyana is 75% Amazon, and most of the people live on that 25% that's not in the Amazon, that's on the coast. And most of the people live there because, if you've seen anything about the Amazon, Guyana is, in the wild. Amazon. Yeah, and it's truly wild. There's things in there people have never discovered. Yeah. So my dad used to go into the interior. That was like, one of the things that he had to do. And he's seen like panthers and all that kind of stuff. And my dad is more of like the jungle man type of thing. He will eat anything.
Wow.
So they would go out there and kill snakes or whatever, and they'll eat all that crap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and when he was a little kid, like he came and visited where I live now, and he was walking around my property, and he saw like all these birds and squirrels, and he was like, when I was a kid, we would just take a rock and knock that bird out of the thing and just cook it up. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Now we would do that to squirrels and robins. We would, we're right in the hood, man, killing with BB guns. And then, I think I had a Daisy, and I think I had a Crossman. Then they had the CO2 BB guns. Mm-hmm. And man, that was like having like a fully automatic back in the day.
High power.
Yeah, but I can tell you, man, squirrels and robin, that is some good eating.
Yeah.
That is some good eating.
Get some good eating.
Robin, man, you got to really.
That's like a little bite. That's like not even a snack.
Well, I was small, I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
But eating squirrel, man, squirrel is like man, 3 times better than chicken.
Is it like chicken of the trees?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, when I say it was good, it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, we clean them up, skin them up, barbecue them.
Yeah.
And
you cannot die in an apocalypse if you stay in Florida, man. As long as Florida is here, I've got thousands of those bastards on my property.
As long as you got fish, man. I mean, man, Florida, man, this is like, it's hard to not be able to survive on the land. I mean, it's a lot of, food right there. I mean, hell, if you live by a pond or a lake or something, or the ocean, you can eat forever. Yeah, you can eat forever.
Kentucky Firearms Network says he's got 9 Snickers bars left.
Oh man,
whoever's in here now that wants a Snickers bar,
I ain't going back up there. It snowed up there today, I think.
Oh wow!
It snowed.
Pretty cold. So let's by the way, let me just remind everyone again to hit the thumbs ups. Okay, we really need that. And then I know for people who are coming in right now, people want us to talk about Gunny. We definitely we had a moment of silence here for Gunny. We've spoken about him. I think it's terrible news that he passed so suddenly. And
yeah,
you know, that was like, man, yesterday when that hit, I was wow.
Yep.
You know, and there's no gun guy who doesn't know Gunny.
Right.
Probably no gun. If you've ever been to SHOT Show or NRA, for that matter, the SEMA show and a whole bunch of other shows, you've probably met Gunny, taking pictures with him and everything. So, you know, if you think that we didn't talk about him, we did. If you go back to the beginning, we definitely discussed him. And before I get into what went down at the NAB show, I don't know. First of all, I don't know if Walter is done because I still want to find out what he brought me. I'm not done with that yet.
You know,
go ahead.
I didn't bring you nothing.
Oh my God! No bull.
There
were no bullpups at the whole Knob Creek.
What?
No.
No IWI.
Well, there no official presence. You know, it's just people in there, like vendors and, you know, some gun dealers and stuff like that. That's what's changed about the show. It used to be full of military stuff, table after table of military stuff, surplus and parts kits and all that stuff, and it's changing, you know, where it's not like that anymore. So even for me to walk around, I really had to look hard to find stuff I wanted, you know.
Wow.
And that's
it's not going like toward like a gun show, is it?
Well,
that feel
a little bit, yeah, and that's bad too, because like I said, there used to be a lot more really cool stuff. You'd find all the cool stuff at Knob Creek.
Well, one of the things is all the cool old stuff isn't going to stay in the world forever.
Well, and
people are figuring out what it's worth too. So
what's happened is the people overseas, now that they got the interweb in these countries, they look on the interweb and they go, well, hell, he gets that much for that over there in the U.S. This has got to cost this much now. It costs more than it's actually worth here by the time you drag it all the way over here. Mm-hmm. So there's some of that going on, and there's, you know, we had 8 years of a restrictive bunch in the import part of the world that, you know, weren't signing import permits and stuff like that like they should have been. So there's plenty of stuff still. Plus, there's wars going on. Yeah. And when wars go on, people need guns, right? And ammo. Yeah. So some of that stuff that would have been surplus normally is being used.
Yeah. Yeah. So I see that Ghetto Hood Gamer got back in. Congratulations.
Okay, I see him there. Yeah.
Who? So be nice this time.
He's asking a question though. He says, "Does Knob Creek happen in the summer?" No. Right at this time, it happens in April and it happens in October. They're going to try to switch it to September. Once a year, so we'll see what happens with that. Yeah.
Which weekend in September?
Don't know yet. Don't know.
And Justin E says, Walter's got black honey for Hank. No, I got the black honey right here.
Yeah,
I got your.
And I don't do that. That's why I don't eat no honey. You know.
Okay, so all right, so I was gonna say something.
Lola's your black honey. Come on now.
No, I was gonna say something. But I'm gonna. Yeah, Lola said enough of the low-hanging fruit that we want to talk about. Because I was gonna say, I know for a fact that your dad has had some black honey.
Well, yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah, I know. I know.
He would have took this jar in a second too. So
yeah, I know how Mr. Keller rolls.
Yeah, he has a thing for darker skinned ladies.
Yeah, he likes the ebony ladies.
Oh,
ebony lady. Yeah.
Is that your dad?
My father. Yeah, my dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's one of those dudes that went black and never doesn't.
Yeah, my mama was whiter than me, so
don't take him to Atlanta.
Yeah, so.
You may never see your dad again.
So okay, now I know that people said that people want to know about what's, you know, we should probably talk about all these different events that went down around the country. So what have you guys seen? Like I said, but I got back Saturday in the wee hours. And I was completely out of it Saturday, Sunday. I know people were sending me reports from different places. So I think some places did well. Some places didn't do so well. What do you guys think is going on? Is it like true apathy out there in the Second Amendment community right now?
I don't know if it's that. I think it's more than just the organizational aspect of it is not as organized as the other side. We don't have paid staff that organize these things like the other side does. So
Exactly.
Yeah, that has a big part to do with it. Besides, once again, last weekend was this time of year is a busy time, but some folks are working. I mean, some of us Second Amendment people actually have jobs, unlike a lot of the leftists who are just paid protesters. So,
I mean, it would be nice for some of the bigger gun companies to get out there, to have the money, the financial backing.
Stand up, grow a set, let them hang low, and say, "Hey, here we are. We're with you." But do you see that?
I mean, the only time I see them come out is when they're trying to sell their products. I would love to get maybe 5 major gun dealers in America to get together and say, "Hey, man, we're gonna have something like a Million Man March type thing, where we all come to congregate to one city in America or wherever it may be, and say, hey, man, we're gonna do all of this for you guys, and have everybody come from all over, and then enforce what we Second Amendment people, male, female, can do." Right. I mean, hell, I would go like a Woodstock. Imagine if they had something like a Woodstock for gun guys and gun ladies. Man, and with the corporate sponsor, somebody, bring in a couple of musical acts or whatever, bring in some motivational speakers in there, and man, just have all the news outlets there to show what we can do when we all get together and we put one head together. But that doesn't happen.
I think that would be I think that would be cool if we can manage to organize it. Definitely, it would take some time, but I don't want to. The folks who did show up at these things, they deserve kudos. It's not easy to do what everyone else doesn't want to do and get out there and say, hey, we believe in the Second Amendment and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to say that the people who did organize things, who showed up to things, and were out there, you guys did the right thing, and you have to do it whether it's popular or not. We're not just fighting for our rights. This isn't a thing like only us, we get the rights. It's rights for everyone. Right. But on the flip side of that, we do have to try to take a little bit more time, really organize something that's more central, and figure out how exactly to do that, more than just, hey, let's all get together and have a big shoot and blow shit up, which is awesome, but we have to do a little bit more than that. And I think, what you're talking about, Rod, it's a good idea.
I mean, it would definitely need to be in a state that that's, two-way friendly, a state that, and I'm not going to say it needs to be in a city. It can be in a rural area, but man, just have it to where it can support the infrastructure of the people coming, because you don't want to go there and be miserable. Like, man, we didn't have any bathrooms, and then the news, what they're going to do is they're going to actually blow that up, instead of focusing on the matters at hand.
Yeah, I think it could be done. I think if you look at what Henry Rifles did with the 1,000-man shoot in Arizona, and that was at the Ben Avery range, which is the biggest range in America. And it was able to handle the 1,000+ people that showed up there just to shoot. And then, obviously there was people there that showed up just to watch everyone shoot. Right. I think something like that, where that facility has places for RVs to come in and all that kind of stuff. If it's planned properly, we can have a good time there, and we can show people, where we stand on this. And that's why Henry originally did that back when we had the elections, because we were all thinking things are going to go a different direction. So it can be done.
So Hank, by us living, Walter, you two, by us all three living in Florida, what goes on in Daytona every, let's say,
Bike week?
Bike week?
Exactly. If bikers can do that, why can't we do that?
Oh, there's a lot of money in that.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, a lot of us show up for the NRA show, and that's coming up here.
Yeah,
but I know how everyone feels about this, because we don't really want to support the NRA. We feel like they opened up the door for this. We see lots of. That's why a lot of these politicians caved and continue to cave. I was actually disappointed. One of the things that I did see over the weekend, Matt Caldwell, who was on this freaking show.
Yeah, he supports.
He supports Scott. Rick.
But
Scott.
What's that about, Hank? What's that about?
something's
It's
going
about
on.
money. It's about money, honey. Oh,
Yeah.
It's about money, honey.
Yeah, I was incredibly disappointed to see that.
I saw that too, and I had to take a double take going,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
And I saw lots of folks reach out to him and they were like, hell no, dude. What are you talking about? Why?
And Marco Rubio, the same thing. Oh, welcoming Rick Scott to the...
Well, Marco Rubio, I knew he was going to go that route.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just, once again, it's all about the dollar.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You got to
that's politicians, man.
You got to get on board or you won't get none of that money, you know.
You can't lay in bed with a politician.
We need to figure out how to get away from Republicans. Okay, we all know the Democrats. We need to get the hell away from them. We've all thought that Republicans were the place that we could go to, and they would understand this. And they've been taking advantage of us for a long time. This didn't just start right now. You know, we truly need to figure out how to get behind an independent party in America and at least create a third option here that's going to be viable, especially for those of us that believe in the Second Amendment, because this is getting really, really crazy right now.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that if we do something like this, that should be part of it. We need to figure out a way. There's no way in hell that I'm going to vote for Rick Scott for anything. I don't want him to be dog catcher. I don't want him to be the dude that scrapes up roadkill on the road.
Man, I can remember seeing Rick Scott when he was running for government. He came up here to one of the gun shows. Go figure. Yeah. He was in there. He was taking questions, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, because true enough, I'm a Democrat, but I don't vote by party lines. I vote for the best qualified candidate. Okay, so my thing is this. You know, I spoke with him. You know, hey, I'm glad to see you here, sir. You know, I voted for Rick Scott. You know, because I truly felt that at that time he had my back in the 2A community. But for him to turn coat like this under the pressure, and it's all about, man, trying to get with them is about getting votes. Come on.
Yeah, he had our back long enough to become elected governor.
Exactly.
And now that it's time to go on to whatever that next level is, to go on to Congress or Senate or whatever it is he wants to go on to, it's like, oh, I don't, you know, I'm going to go a different route now. But
now, watch this. In the next elections, you're going to see everybody, oh, we're going to ban this, we're going to ban that, because that's a hot button topic now. I mean, how many guys out there can you really say that are standing by their wits and saying, hey, you know what? I am for the 2A community. I am not going to reduce any type of gun control or anything like that. How many times have you seen that? Tell me, and I'll be waiting.
Yeah, well,
you're going to be waiting a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, This is what the problem is. And I'll tell you right now that the situation is so dire that I would rather see, I don't want Democrats to be in office, but if we're going to vote for these guys and then they're going to go in there and act like Democrats, why not just burn it all down, man? We need the fear to come back to wake people up. This is the problem that we have that's going on. And when I talk to like people in the Republican Party and all that, they're like, oh, if you don't support us, then the Democrats are going to get in and they're going to be worse. I'm honestly telling you, I don't see how the hell they're going to be worse, because we're giving them everything. We're giving these guys every single damn thing that they want. And we need something to happen in Florida, around the rest of the country, where people get so mad that they go, you know what? I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on here, and I'm going to get out and rally and say hell no and all this kind of stuff. And maybe it just all needs to burn down. And if the Republicans we have are so stupid that they're just going to act like mindless drones and do whatever Democrats want, then we don't need them in office.
Right. Hey, right now in Florida, what lawmaker can you honestly say is, other than, and I'm not talking about the gentleman you had on the other day that is going to be over the gun license, not the agriculture guy. I'm not talking about him. And let's talk about somebody that's running for governor, a lieutenant governor, anything like that. Who can we honestly say that we can get on their back and say, hey, you know what? Let's ride.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. We have nobody right now that we can even back, let alone, back somebody that's got our rights.
We need to look someplace different. We're looking at the same place all the time. And if these people know that we're just going to vote for them because they have an R in front of their name or a D or whatever the hell it is, they're just going to keep doing this crap to us. They're just going to keep playing everyone on both sides when they're not really doing the things that we need or that we want them to do. But
we don't have anybody, whether it be R, I, or D at all, that we could even back. That person isn't, if they're there, they haven't made themselves public yet.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have no idea on who I can say and hang my hat on and say, you know what, I got this guy here. I'm going to roll with you.
This is my
but maybe people, because maybe those of us that feel this passionately, we need to start stepping the hell up. That's the problem. Like everyone thinks like, hey, politician is a bad word, so I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to complain about them. Well, then we're screwed. Some of us need to start stepping the hell up here so that the rest of us can push those people up. That's what I think needs to happen in America. Everybody in this chat, if you go and you see anybody that's running for any office, ask them the first question: what is your views on? Are you 2A friendly? If they're not 2A friendly, in the conversation, go to the next person. Because but you can't just ask the question, man, because they all say that they are. What I say is like, so how many guns you got? Yeah. Tell me about what did you shoot? When's the last time you shot something? Hey, come with me to the range. We're going to the range. We're going to do this. I don't want you to just say that you're a gun guy. Let me show me some proof. Don't just say that you're a gun guy just to get a vote, and then you turn turncoat on me. You trade on me. Get to the point where I want to be able to. I know Hank Strange is a gun guy. I know Walter is a gun guy. You guys know I'm a gun guy. Okay, but my thing is this: I want to be able to see a guy that, man, actual pictures or something, some type of physical evidence that this guy is really. Before he became a political guy, he was a gun guy at heart. Yeah, right. I think unless we get new blood, unless we get new people who we could verify that, who have obviously been doing it for a long time. I mean, I see a lot of people saying it, and I feel the same way. I see people saying it in the chat. We really need a hard reset. I'll tell you something right now. It doesn't matter who's in office. They cannot erase our Second Amendment rights unless we let them do it. Right. They can't take it away from us unless we go willingly to like sheep to the slaughter. They can't do it. They could try. They could try to make laws or whatever. Those laws are all unconstitutional, and we don't even need the Constitution. It's our God-given right to defend ourselves. All we have to say is hell no. You can have whatever politicians you want in there. Politicians in America used to have that feeling that Americans were not going to give up their guns. Somehow, in the last couple of years, they're like, "Oh, I think these guys, we wore them down finally." And people are acting like they're all worn down, and they're acting like they're ready to give up stuff. And what we have to do is maybe this all needs to be reset, and for people to realize that we don't give a shit what laws you make. Hey, even though that character on your shirt is funny, is made to be a joke, but it's actually real. What hurts me now? I can accept somebody that's just not a gun person. Okay, you know what? I see you. I know what you are. But for people that are gun people that say, well, you know what? Maybe we don't need ARs. Maybe we only need a 9mm or a semi-automatic pistol. Those are the people that I'm most afraid of, because you don't know whether or not, you can't trust. They are really not to be trusted. FUDs. I mean, the people that say, well, you know what? Hey, I only go hunting, or I only go target shooting, And I talk to my friends that are FUDs, and I'm like, man, you guys don't care, give a damn about, losing these rights.
Once they get my AR-15, they're coming for your hunting rifle.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. They're coming for your pocket knife too, by the way.
Yeah.
England. There's people over here that want to take guns out of Star Wars. You hear this shit?
Yeah, I saw that.
Star Wars movies. What are you going to do? What are they going to do? Whip their dicks out and fight with their dicks or something? What are they going to do?
a wooden card, wooden.
This is the whole point. This is the whole point of being progressive, right? Take a little bit here, take a little bit, take a little bit. Eventually, if you're patient enough, you get it the whole way there. And the thing that we have to do is just say, yeah, that shit is over. Just not doing it. It doesn't matter what laws you make or what you say. We're not going to do it. We're not going to, we're getting to that point. We are coming to that point because right now we have a system where the people who are failing us, who are willingly giving up our Second Amendment rights, are Republicans. People who, if you ask them, I see their asses all the time here in Florida. I'm telling you, we had that guy, Matt Caldwell on here, and he was acting like he was all gun guy or whatever.
Well, he never really, I think I noticed about that dude is he says, well, he wasn't for that part about the age thing, but he didn't say much else besides that. Restricting the up to 21. After that, he didn't say a whole lot. He just kind of sat there, and I got this feeling like part of it he was good with, and part of it he wasn't good with. So
yeah, and he voted no. That's the dude who voted no. Then we had a whole bunch of other Republicans that voted yes, and now we're having all these guys are getting together and they're all colluding with each other to stay in power. And because they're making deals like, okay, guess what? I'm going to become a congressman, and then you'll become this. You'll get this position, and then we'll just move it around. I mean, screw that, man. They don't really care about us, and I think that we're getting to that point where we have to burn down this stuff. The Republican Party needs to die. It needs to just burn down to the ground and go away.
Burn that sucker down.
Because I don't know how I'm going to keep supporting these guys and all the bullshit that they're putting out there.
Yeah.
Do we have any independent two-way politicians out there?
I don't know.
I think a lot of the independents are just pro-weed.
They're wishy-washy.
Yeah. Well, also keep in mind before you clean somebody else's house, you got to make sure that your house is clean. We in the elephant in the room. We in the gun community, we haven't even got our shit together right.
Well, yeah, not everybody know.
Because we got too much infighting. Okay. At some point, we got to say, hey, you know what? We need to come together in arms, lock arms, and then go from there. All they've done is divide and conquer.
Yeah.
That's all they've done with us. They divided us and they're conquering us right now. I mean, you got this guy going against this guy, and then, and we see it. We know, I'm not saying who it is, but we see it. Okay. And you got too many people backstabbing each other. And then, so we're too busy fighting with each other to look at the total message at hand of what's actually the problem. Okay. And then we need to go there. That's what we need to do at this point.
Yeah. I think what people need to do beyond all the politics and everything else, you need to ask yourself, which person are you going to be? Are you going to be the person who is going to leave all the decisions of your life and in this world up to someone else, and you're going to let someone else be responsible for you? Or are you the person who's going to stand up for yourself? Are you going to defend yourself, or are you going to beg someone else to come in and save you and defend you? You just need to decide that. All the other stuff is really doesn't make any kind of difference. You just need to say, who am I? Yeah. Am I going to live on my knees, or am I going to stand up and fight and defend myself and fight for what I believe is right? Okay. And all those people who are willing to live on their knees and give up everything, just go ahead and do that, because you're going to lose everything. All of this stuff. Let's say they could, I'm telling you guys, if they could wave a magic wand and get rid of guns, you think they're done with that? Even when they get rid of knives and all whatever they think are weapons, you think they're done there? When you I look at the people, like, we're on YouTube, right? In the rest of the YouTube community, people that do other things like car guys, they don't give a shit about what's happening on the car world. They don't really care what's happening to us because they think they're not coming for them. You think there's not going to be a point where those people go, you know what? Can't have these combustion engine cars.
They've already tried that. In the custom car, old car world, to try to say it's too polluted, you pollute too much, you got to take them away. That's been going on for a long time. They beat it back most of the times when it happens, but that's a current
Yeah.
Ongoing thing with those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and what those idiots don't realize that believe in all of that is when they disarm us, so they get rid of us, okay, and we don't exist anymore, they're coming for their asses.
Yeah.
They're coming for everything else. They're going to tell you how to live your life. You know what? You've got too many children. No, you know, this is, I'm not making it up. This is the shit that happens in the world. You're gonna have to get a license to even think about buying a car. That happens in this world that we live in. In places on the face of this planet, you have to think about having that to get a car, to do this thing, to do. There's gonna be something. If you think you're gonna live, at some point they're gonna go, yeah, you know what? You got too much money, my friend. You got too much house. That house. It can't, you know, that's too much for you. You got to share this house with someone else. You got to share this thing that you have with someone else. That's the world that you're coming to. If you don't want to stand up and fight for yourself and be able to defend yourself, that is the world that's coming to you. And maybe it's the world that you deserve. Think about that. I think it's the world that those people deserve, but I refuse to live in that world. I'll rather fight and die knowing that I'm a free human being that can do what I need to do, as long as I'm not out there trying to harm people. And if I decide that I want to harm people and unjustly take things away from people, that they're able to stand up to me.
Well, Hank, I'm gonna tell you this, man. What I've tried to do is I've tried to get creative as to, because you can't tell a non-gun person, hey, we need to do this for our Second Amendment right. You can't. That's going to go on deaf's ear. So what I try to do is I try to make it in a way where it may affect them directly. And by doing that, I say, so what if you get home and you get held up? Or how are you going to protect yourself if this? And I say, hey, what about, look at Hurricane Katrina. Look at, because this stuff can actually happen, and it has happened. Okay. Oh, yeah. And I say, what about, the like Coleon Noir said, the single mother that's got 3 kids and she works a double shift every day, and she rides the bus home, and she's just gotten paid, and she gets paid in cash, and she gets on the city bus, and she gets held up by these criminals. What are you gonna tell this lady? And I usually start off, because women are our biggest. And I'm not trying to be, I'm not singling out women, but we get a lot of flack from women more so than other men. And what I try to do is I try to bring it to women. I say, hey, look, how are you going to protect yourself? And I always give it the worst case scenario. I say, if anybody breaks into your home, it's always going to wind up bad for you, because you're either going to get raped, you're going to get killed, you're going to get robbed. All three of them. Yeah, all 3 of them, and I say, who's to tell you? And the next thing they say, why do you need an AR-15? Well, my thing is this, hell, why do you think the drug dealer or the gang bangers or whoever, the bad guys out there, you think that they walking around with cap guns? Hell no. Shit, they got probably more firepower than the damn police officers. So you mean to tell me they're gonna be outgunning me? And my thing is this, I never want the criminal element to be able to outgun me. Okay. I want to have at least what I know that they got. At least. So I look at it on that end there, and you kind of, of course, that actually is revolving around a certain demographic of people. But you can't go to the country club and try to sell that to somebody in a gated community, But if I go into the hood, which is where I'm from, and I say, hey, look, you need this, you need to be able to protect yourself. And if you don't protect yourself, who's going to protect you? Well, hell, I tell my police officer friends, hey, what the thing that usually gets them is, hey, you know what? We are not here to protect you. We're not here to originally stop the crime. Okay. No police officer ever shows up to a scene before the crime happens. Okay. That doesn't happen. They are reactive. If they're reacting, that means something bad has already happened. It is up to you to defend yourself until the police are able to come.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If they are interested in coming, I think the problem that we have in the problem that we have in America and in lots of places around the world is this false sense of security that everyone has.
Hell yeah. Yes.
You know, that's what I think is the destructive thing that we're all dealing with here. I think that if people really came to realize what would happen in this world, very easily things could fall apart. Very easily things could fall apart anywhere that you live. It's not just in Florida. Like people think, oh, hurricanes only have. Every part of America has some natural disaster that could happen there.
We just had tornadoes over the weekend.
Yeah, things can happen anywhere at any time. And if all of a sudden you're living in a world where those police officers are thinking about their own families and not yours,
yes,
you're done. The people who are roving around, they don't even have to have guns. The guys who get together and start roving around and go, oh, let's pick out that house right there. And we'll get all the food that we want and whatever else that we want out of those people.
We're going to rape and pillage and get the food and keep going to the next house.
This is the world that we evolved out of. But people forgot about it already. They forgot that less than 100 years ago, we were living like this. And they think like, oh, yeah, you know what? We don't need that anymore. You know why we have this civilized society that we have now? It's because of the gun. The gun is what gives us this civilized society. If you don't believe me, go look at what happens like in Nigeria when all the guys that are funded by oil over there, you know, get together like the Boko Haram and say, let's go to the school and take all those schoolgirls out of there. And do whatever we want to do to them. That's what the hell is going on. You think that's only people look at that and go, oh, that's just some savages over here. We would never do that. Are you crazy?
Oh yeah, hell, it can happen.
Yeah,
but see, they
absolutely happen.
They're living in a world, man, where they don't live in that thought process. And I actually do. I actually look. I mean, hell, just think about this. If you have no lights in a major metropolitan city for 3 days, no food. What you think? People gonna start becoming savages and killing each other and doing whatever they can. They're gonna take advantage of the situation and they're gonna do whatever they can to survive. You know. Yeah. And my thing is this: I've already said, hey, you know what? When the hurricanes come, you know the first thing I do, I get my AR-15 out. I make sure I got about 10 magazines filled to capacity because of the fact that, and I'm not being I don't know the word, just overreacting. But my thing is this: I want to make sure that if anything happens, that I'm prepared. I'm not sitting up here with my foot up my ass and not knowing what the hell to do. You know. Yeah.
Look, if you look at that shooting that happened in the church that the guy stopped, his AR wasn't loaded, man.
Yeah, he had to go home and get it or something.
Yeah, he was well, and there was he only had so many rounds, and I'm telling you, I would rather have however many rounds I just threw at you. I would rather have 3 times that amount of rounds left that I can still throw at you.
Yeah, you know, I mean, now I say that, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking at my safe right now. I only got about two magazines of ammunition in my AR magazine.
Yeah. But that's at least 30 dead people.
Well, that's true too. But I can't say I got all my pistol magazines filled to capacity.
I ain't gonna take a lot of shots at you.
Another thing that, and I'm not trying to knock police officers in this. On the plane back, I was sitting next to a guy that was. He found out at the end of the flight that I was a gun guy, and he was like disappointed because he was like, "Man, I could have been talking to you about guns this whole flight."
Oh God, no, no.
Because he's a gun guy too, and he was telling me that his son is in the FBI and all that. I have friends that work in the FBI. I have friends that are cops. I have friends who are police officers, law enforcement that are watching this or could be watching. I'm not trying to knock all these guys, but you got to remember something about we don't even have to go crazy and apocalyptic for people not to protect us. I'll just give you an example. How is it possible that the FBI can raid the lawyers for the president?
God.
Right? They could go after the lawyer for the president and do all of that, but the same FBI had played no part in preventing what happened here in Florida.
You know, my son was telling me today that there's talk that one of the Boston Marathon bombers was an FBI informant.
I wouldn't be surprised about it. The thing is that these people play favorites. How are we living in a world that the FBI could go because of like Stormy Daniels or some bullshit?
Yeah,
they can go raid a lawyer's office, right? and get all these records out of there and do all the crap that they did there. But when there's a kid who's saying that he wants to be a professional school shooter, nobody
on
goes
YouTube.
No one goes and checks up on him. So
his real name.
Yeah, what I'm trying to tell you now, there's good and bad. Like the FBI has human beings in it. Police departments have human beings in it. The military has human beings in it. Okay, they're good people and bad people. But what I'm telling you is, how are you going to place your life in the hands of those people? You know, there's lots of people. I'm not saying I know what happened here, but one of the things I saw in the news over the weekend is that there's this story about these two black guys that went into a Starbucks, and they were sitting there and they didn't order anything. And the manager of the Starbucks, they asked her if they could use the bathroom, and she complained that they didn't order anything, and then called the police. The police came and arrested their asses.
Yeah, I don't know that. There's weird stuff to that story.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So the thing about it is this: I'm not saying I know what happened, but you got to ask yourself, what the fuck, is going on in the world?
And at Starbucks, the most loving and caring and want to hire refugees organization. What happened?
Yeah. And here's what I'm saying. There's lots of people that look like me out there protesting all that. But those people at the same time don't believe that they should be responsible for themselves.
Well, they
shouldn't be responsible for their own security. And that's what I'm saying to you. At some point you have to realize that ultimately in this world you got to be responsible for you. No one's going to come save you. In that moment, lots of people failed, right? The person who managed the Starbucks didn't go, oh yeah, go ahead, use the bathroom. The police officer showed up and didn't go, okay,
what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, why are you arresting some dudes because they're just sitting in a Starbucks when everyone else is sitting there?
You walk in it. I mean, that's why I couldn't be a policeman. I'd walk up and go, "What are we doing? What's going on here?" Really?
Yeah. The more I found out some more information that the manager of the store did not want them there. And,
I heard they were realtors or something like that.
Yeah, they were realtors, and they were waiting on the guy, and the guy came in as they were leaving in handcuffs. So what started was I kind of understand what the police's part on that, because the thing is they asked the guys nicely to leave.
They didn't want to.
Right. But the thing is, they should never have had to be asked to leave in the first place. Though.
Yeah, everyone does business in a Starbucks. Like, I don't understand that. Starbucks makes money because people come in there and do business. Now, are you like forcing them that they have to come in there and buy shit?
Yeah.
Are you kicking out everyone that doesn't buy something in Starbucks? And
that's where, it became controversial, because everybody knows that, okay, not everybody that goes to Starbucks is there to buy something. There's people who go there just to use their laptop, to read, to be in, the atmosphere.
People go there to meet chicks. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And the thing I'm trying to say to you about all the people who are up in arms, I get it. I understand that.
But those are the same people who want the guns to be taken away.
Yeah, that's exactly the part I don't understand. Like,
who's going to protect them? It's not the police's job to protect you from. Right. Like Rod was saying, they don't show up until bad things have already happened.
No, and those dudes come there. They came. They were like, "Yeah, we're going to arrest you. Sorry, you're trespassing in this place. You're under arrest, mofos."
Well, yeah.
I mean, why do you think that if you're mad about that, why are you trying to leave your life up to someone else? Why are you saying, hey, government, help us right now? Okay, government, we hate you.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
Yeah, that's like the stupidest thing that I've ever seen in the world. It's the same thing with all the kids that are protesting, against guns. And that they're saying that no one should have guns, right? We shouldn't have guns. The only people that should protect them are the police officers that did not protect them, that literally stayed outside while they were being slaughtered in the school. And they were to the flip side of what happened with those police officers is that we know for a fact that there were police officers that were outside counties that were off duty, right? And they try to respond to what happened in this school here in Florida, and for that they got suspended.
They were told to turn down, stand down.
That's called politics.
Yeah. Right? So this is the like, if you know this kind of bullshit is what you're living. If you're living in a world like this and you don't know what's going to happen, do you want to rely on yourself or do you want to rely on someone else? If you love your children, do you want them to rely on someone else someone in the government, or do you want them to know how to rely on themselves?
I trust me. That's who I trust.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Scarface said? I trust me. That's who I trust. You know, I don't trust anybody else but me, because I know how I will react. I know what's in my heart, you know. But also on the flip side, with the Killer Mike interview with Coleon Noir, I wish that he would have stuck to his guns instead of caving in until with the pressure. But I understand the political part of that too.
I didn't. You're gonna have to cue me in on this, Killer Mike.
Well,
if you Killer Mike, people out there who did, I know Killer Mike is a rapper.
Yeah, and
from Run the Jewels, right? That's one of my favorite groups.
Right. So he had an interview with Coleon, and you know he was saying how much he's a NRA fan and blah blah blah, this and that. And then some of the black entertainers or media folks started getting on him about that.
For being an NRA fan.
Yeah, you know, I tell anybody, hell yeah, I'm an NRA. I'm in the NRA, but hell, I'm a Democrat, and neither one of them are perfect.
Yeah, but also like, but I don't know. See, this is what I'm saying about the confusion in the world.
Yeah,
you know, you need to take away the confusion in the world because we're not fucking NRA fans right now.
Right, exactly.
I'm not an NRA fan right now.
Right.
You know, but am I an NRA member? Sure. Yeah, exactly. Because what I want to do is I want to do everything possible to fight to keep my Second Amendment rights. But that day, I think, is coming. That no matter what we do, it seems to me like the NRA is going to fail us and politicians are going to fail us. And ultimately, the only person that you can rely on is yourself in all of this stuff that we're dealing with.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I'm sorry. I just got distracted. Lola's over here trying to, you know.
I did get a couple more.
Lola said I should let Rod finish. So I'm sorry, Rod.
No.
Finish your point.
No, I was just saying that, you know, I just wish that, you know, he wouldn't have caved in. Now, I know me. If I say something that comes out my mouth, is how I feel. Okay, you know. I mean,
you mean you weren't misspeaking?
No, you know.
So how did he cave in? How did he cave in?
He caved in because he got backlash from the black community.
Okay,
saying that he was a Uncle Tom or Coon or whatever.
Those people ever listen to his music?
Exactly, but they're saying that because he's an NRA guy.
Oh, the rapper person was saying that he was an NRA person. Oh, I thought they were coming down on the Coleon.
No.
Oh, okay,
well, first of all, let's say this. People say that about Coleon Noir, and that's like we've gotten into this before, right? I can complain about Coleon Noir or whatever, but people already say that about him, and that's something that I think is bullshit.
Yeah.
There's people who say that about him, and that's like the most outrageous thing that I've heard. That's why if you notice something, I'll talk bad. I'll say I don't support the NRA. Like, why the hell isn't Coleon Noir talking up about this or saying something about it? But I think when we get to the level that we want to beat up the other guys who've been out there, you know, fighting and putting themselves out there and putting their families out there and all that, then we're taking away from the fact of when we were on their side. You know, that they were out there doing stuff for us, and now we don't give a crap about that, so we're just going to talk about them bad. Whenever people want to do that, it's horrible.
You know, when I talk to my black friends and I tell them, they ask me why am I part of the NRA, and I said, did you know that the NRA spokesperson is black? You know that, right? And they're like,
you know that the NRA helped black people when they needed to have guns to protect themselves?
Exactly, yeah. But see, that's what the media doesn't want. Mainstream urban America to know. Okay, the NRAs had black people on their board. You know, they want the media. They want to listen to what the media says that the NRA is nothing but KKK, which we all know that ain't true.
And so,
even when I went to my first NRA last year in Atlanta, and I saw black folks there, and I know that they couldn't get in unless they were NRA members. You know.
Well, I thought NRA is open to public, isn't it?
No, you have to be an NRA member.
But
you can literally join right there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So a couple of things I want to ask you about this, Rob, before we move on, or two things. I want to ask you something, and then I want to say something. I'm going to say it first. So all those black rappers, we got a lot of white rappers now. Doesn't matter. I don't give a crap. All the rappers out there, right? Or people in Hollywood who came down on Killer Mike because, you know, they called him an Uncle Tom and all those kinds of things because he's supported the NRA. So what you're trying to say is that you're attacking these people who are trying to make it legal and try to maintain your ability to legally own guns in America. You're going to attack them because you want to illegally own guns so that the police can come along and lock your stupid ass up and put you in jail for the rest of your life. That's what you want. You're calling someone, you know, the reason why he's supporting the NRA, because he knows that you should not go to jail for defending yourself in America.
Yep.
You shouldn't go to jail for that. It should not be illegal. Those people who are supporting guns being illegal in America are the assholes, as far as I'm concerned. To me, they are the people that are doing something wrong because they are setting us up to live our lives in prison and lose all our rights.
Right.
Think about that. And they're like, "Oh, you're this terrible person because you're down with the NRA." They're trying to make it legal for you to own this shit, people.
Yeah, exactly. But yet and still, though, they won't say anything when Pookie got a sawed-off shotgun or AK-47 illegally in the hood. They won't say anything about that, though. Okay.
Yeah, but Pookie will go to jail for the rest of his life.
Exactly. But they won't go out and say that, hey, you know what? The drug dealers or so and so, they don't need to have guns too. No, they're not gonna say that.
And if you defend yourself against Pookie because he tried to rob you, then you're going to jail for that.
Exactly.
Look, there was a story in New York City when I was a kid, and I can't remember this. Somebody out there can, like, I'm trying to remember what this, but there was this in New York City. There was this young black kid that, from I think the time he was like maybe 10 or 11 years old, he was a drug dealer. Okay, he literally worked for the police department, for people in the police department in New York City because they were so corrupt. All right. And what happened was the police officers, these corrupt police officers that he worked for, when they were about to get busted, when people were catching up to them and they thought that this guy could turn them in, they literally went to kill him. Okay. I think at this point he was like 17, 18, something like that. They went to kill him. He was so badass with a gun. I'm not making this shit up. He was so badass that the first time they went after him, he wounded like, I don't know, 10, 15 police officers. They, for months and months and months in New York City, they kept chasing this kid around. And anytime they came close to him, he was just tearing their asses up. Seriously. Eventually, he had to turn himself in, right? He turned himself in and he testified against those police officers, and he was cleared of charges and they were arrested and all that and went to jail. But he went to jail too. And do you know what he went to jail on? Gun charges.
Wow.
For defending himself against those guys who were coming to kill him. And this is the thing that this is probably the point that Killer Mike is trying to make to people, that why is it illegal for you to defend yourself? You know, and in his case, here is a kid who these police officers turned him into a drug dealer, or he was in the hood or whatever, so he was going to be a drug dealer, and they started using him, and then when he became a problem, they decided they were going to get rid of him. Anyone who thinks I'm bullshitting, this is like real shit that actually happened in America, and you can look it up. I can't remember the guy's name right now, otherwise I would tell you guys. So, and the other thing that I wanted to ask you, Rod, since we got you here, right? What is your opinion on people calling other people Uncle Toms? What do you think about that?
I mean, it's usually when people throw out names, is because they usually they're so confused, or they don't have lack of a better education to be able to deal with that person, you know, one-on-one on an educational level. So they say, you know what? All right, I have nothing else to say. I'm gonna just call you Uncle Tom and just end it, you know. So that's what that, you know. But you know, I got my black credibility. You know, people that know me know. Okay, you know what? This guy, you know, I'm not saying I came from the ghetto, but I came from the black side of town. I'll be honest. I didn't see any kids my skin complexion. Maybe up until maybe I joined the military, because back then, now I'm gonna I don't want somebody to go back and say, hey, I see Rod with this white kid right here. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when I was, I went to a private school. I went to all black private elementary school, and I did that from first grade until maybe the fourth grade. My dad was a school teacher. He actually had me come to his school for a year, and it was it was maybe, I think, 75-25 white to black. Okay. But after that, I went to all black sixth grade center. And that's what we had. That's what they called middle schools back then, sixth grade centers here. I went to all black seventh grade center. The junior high I went to was all black, 8th and 9th. My senior high school was black, all black, 10th through 12th. My college I went to HBCU. That was all black. So I really didn't have any type of relationship or anything with anybody white until I joined the military. Now, I will say that functionally, I was behind my friends that went to mixed schools, that dealt with, that were able to deal with different races and everything. I was stunted. And I actually remember I was sitting at dinner one night with what's his name, quarterback for the Redskins, Joe Theismann. Me and Joe Theismann were at one of the games. He was doing one of the commentating, and we were sitting there eating. And I told him that story, and he couldn't believe it. He was like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, man. I said in the corporate world, I was stunned because I didn't know how to deal with anybody other than black people, in my 20s. And, I suffered for that. But the more and more I became intertwined with both African-American and Caucasians, and even, maybe Mexicans and, other folks, other nationalities or ethnic backgrounds. Not until then did I actually get to the point where I was able to feel comfortable in speaking, because I always felt that, man, I'm looking at what I see in the history books at the time that, okay, all white people were bad. All white people, they're the KKK, they're racist, and not until I actually sat down and befriended some of them. And then I'm like, okay, well, damn.
So so when people, because you grew up in that environment, when people told you that, you believe that?
Yeah, I mean, because I had no other way
no other experience.
Yeah, I had no other experience, and, keep in mind, I'm 47, so I grew up in the age where we had just gotten over that. Well, I'm not even say over the hump. We had just gotten to the point where we were integrating folks. And so segregation was officially over. I was born in 1970. So segregation was actually ending and integration was starting. And so, as a young kid growing up, that's all I knew. And now, Hank, I know you're not from here, so you didn't have that experience of having that, what I had. But, until I started integrating and started putting myself, becoming friends with, people that are non-black, did I, at that point, start realizing that, okay, man, you know what? Some of these white folks that I'm friends with here, I'm gonna trust them more than some of these black people, because some of these black folks I know what they gonna do, not all, but I know that this person here, hey, you can't let this person come to your house. And I'm sure we both, whether black or white, we both got friends that you don't allow to come into your house without you looking at them or you locking your stuff up, or have had that happen before, and so, it's to the point, man, where now, man, we need to stop looking at, black people that are standing with white folks in arms as being Uncle Toms and coons or whatever, and start saying, okay, man, if this black dude is a righteous dude and he's with a white righteous dude, man, you know what? These guys, you got two righteous people together, no matter what color they are. Okay, that's plain and simple, and that's what I say. I mean, when I go to the gun range, man, or I go to the gun show, you don't see color, man. You see another dude or a woman that likes guns, that have a like personality as you, and you can sit there and talk and have a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's plain and simple there,
Yeah.
And that's what I like about when I was at the NRA. I'm up there talking to folks. you know, no matter what color, no race or gender or anything, gays, black, white, whatever, Mexican, Hispanic, everything. You know, we sitting there talking about guns. We're talking about ammo. We're talking about magazines. We're talking about, okay, what do you think about this and this? And then race is totally out of the subject then. That's what I love about the gun community, you know?
Well, that's the same thing like with car people or
right,
with,
exactly.
boat people or golf people.
Right.
You know, they have there's a common denominator or a common interest.
Yeah. It's easy to forget as human beings, I think that there's some kind of programming that when we see another human being, we think about stuff like skin color or whatever. But once you start talking to that person and you realize that that's just another human being like you, and they like the same things that you do, and you have things in common, you forget about that. Who gives a shit?
Right. Who gives a shit? You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but what Rob was saying is kind of like me, kind of, sort of. I didn't have any contact with any black people until they bust them into the school, you know, and same for those black kids. They didn't have no contact with no white kids until they bust them into school. And so I got shipped off in 6th grade. I got shipped off to a 6th grade center that was in the middle of the projects. It was surrounded by the projects, all 4 sides, and it was like, oh my God.
Walter's in the hood.
This is the way that some folks live.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, you know, all I want to do is be good. I had good conduct grades. I was finishing 6th grade and getting my keister out of there. Yeah. So then I went to a 7th grade center that was in the middle of West Tampa, which was like a Cuban area, you know, Hispanic.
Okay.
So, you know, that's another world too. You know, that that's another clique or another group. Right. Yeah. And then 8th grade, 9th grade was back in the middle school I was supposed to go to, junior high school, and then high school was Plant High School in Tampa, and it's an uppity kind of school. But there was, you know, they bust in the black kids there too, so it wasn't like it was all white or anything like that. But
right.
But yeah, so you don't have. It wasn't because I wanted to have the non-exposure. It just happened.
That's how
the way it was. You know, my neighborhood was. I lived in a regular old neighborhood, and you know there wasn't any black kids in the neighborhood. You know,
right.
Not because they were forced out. It's funny. The house we lived in was built in the 1920s in Tampa, and when my parents bought the house, or when they sold the property in '83, I think they had to have the deed rewritten because it said. Now I'm gonna say this. It said no niggers, no Jews. No, and it had this in the deed.
This was on the deed.
This was on the deed from the 1920s.
Wow.
So in order to
I can see.
In order to do the transfer of the deed to the people that bought it and turned it into a parking lot, they had to have that all taken out.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's but you know, people go, oh, that's the way it was.
That's the way it was back then, right?
You know,
that doesn't make it right. I mean, you know,
right. But that's the way it was. You know,
I'm just glad that we've gotten to that point where, man, we can actually, you know, get past in this forum in the chat. Man, it's all different races in there, and everybody's cool. You know, I mean, I know that because these guys, they hit me up in Facebook. You know?
Oh yeah, they're good people out there. These aren't like, you know, people think that when you're dealing with people on the internet, you know, you're dealing with some creepy people or whatever. No, these are like real human. It's human beings. There's always a little bit, but
guys out there.
There's always a little bit, but most of these are good people, and you know, really, when the shit hits the fan. And we saw this, and I'm going to go, people want to see Gorn, so we're going to go to some Gorn here in a second. But when the shit hits the fan, if you think back to like 9/11 and all that kind of stuff, when the shit hits the fan and people come for us as Americans, then we forget about all that shit. And we remember that we're all Americans, regardless of whatever it is we want to hate each other over. And we let go of that, and we realize that we're all in this together. I mean, I think that's a thing with the whole world. But we all forget it, right? Because there's some people out there that are just, like we said, there's a little bit of people out there.
There's some turds out there. There's some turds.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Let's switch. Let's switch from everything.
Oh, now. One thing I bought. I bought at Knob Creek too. I bought all the tools needed to bend AK flats.
Oh, really?
Bend them, weld on the rails, do riveting, all that stuff. I got it all, man. I spent $700 in tools, man.
I think I sense AK building.
Some builds coming on. Yeah.
And we won't be able to show it on the YouTube.
There could be some post-sample machine guns coming.
We're gonna have to figure out where we're gonna put those videos. Don't worry,
I think there might be a new format coming. Maybe.
Yeah, we got some place to put it, but I'm just saying it won't be on the YouTubes for sure.
I bought all the tools.
Yeah, because we can't do that. So okay, so let's Fire Again 68 said Walter just triggered me. E-Rock said we the people will pew pew together.
Yeah, like at Knob Creek, people, I mean, okay, there's not a lot of black folk walking around, I have to say that. And that's not because they keep anybody out or anything like that. But everybody gets along, Yeah. Everybody, for the most part, everybody's cordial. Excuse me, bump into somebody. Everybody's, human, and we're all evil gun people. Every one of us.
Yeah.
All right, we got to spice it up, Hank. Come on now.
Yeah. Also, you know what I've noticed in Kentucky, and I'm not trying. I don't know. This might get me in trouble, but there's people in Kentucky have mixed up a lot, because I've seen black dudes in Kentucky that are very fair skinned with blue eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's lots of when I go to Kentucky, I don't know. I actually really like Kentucky because everyone in Kentucky loves me.
And they are pro-gun in Kentucky.
Yeah, brothers. All the peoples. I've always had a good welcome in Kentucky, because I think ultimately it just comes down to the guns.
Down to the guns.
But if you really genetic tested people in Kentucky, I guarantee you would find that people who look white are black and people who look black are white. So,
I don't know if I tell some of them that, but anyways,
yeah, exactly. To some extent. So. All right, so let's see. Let's start here in the couple of minutes that we got left here with Rod Mills is kissing his gun. So
this is my baby here, man. Damn, I love her.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious.
She's got a Geisley Super Dynamic 3-gun trigger here.
Rate increaser. You got a rate increaser.
Yeah, man. That's
yeah. Got an Enforce light here.
Kevin Dixie would like that.
Yeah, actually, this is the Kevin Dixie scope, the Strike Eagle he has on his Black Rain. But I did get me like a little cheap El Cheapo, but it's a really good throw lever here.
Wow,
I got that I got that from Amazon, and got my my sling on here, and I got my Surefire. Man, this comp here, man, it actually keeps that shooting level flat on there, but I like my baby here.
Yeah, that rifle's geared out right, man. You got
and I got the AXTS charging handle here. Got that. Got a flat dark here, but I got something coming up in the future, and it is gonna be badass though.
Okay. We're gonna look forward to that. Walter, what you got going on?
I'm still handling my Romanian PSL build. I bought a stock for it at Knob Creek, a Magpul fixed stock, plum color. I still got to do something on the front end here, but we'll get it going and bust some caps.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna show people. This is like this is actually mine.
Steyr?
Newly acquired. Yes, Steyr AUG right here.
It's yours?
In OD green, yes.
I call first dibs. Did somebody beat me on the chat? No, I don't think anybody did. First dibs.
So there you go. It's OD green. I don't know if you guys can see that.
I can't let it go without talking about Tyven. Tyven was at Knob Creek. Tyven brought some swag up there. We gave it away and did some drawings.
Okay. How did the live show go over?
Well, there's no signal for the live part. He's got to put it out there. I don't know if he has or not. If you have Tyven, let us know where it's at.
Yeah, so we can. It was on the Tyven show. The Tyven show on YouTube.
It was interesting to say the least, but we did it and went off well, I think.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I'm glad that Tyven show got out there. He had a good time, right? That was his first time.
Unfortunately, his wife came down with something, and they had to leave early. But he was sick as a dog before the show. I hear
they didn't eat the pork, did they? Because I've been trying to warn the people. About eating
I
the
had
pork.
some pork there. I had some pork. I had a pork
Oh,
sandwich.
okay. Oh, okay. But you are bulletproof. So I mean, you got a cast iron stomach.
I don't know. Today it all decided it wasn't going to be cast iron no more. So.
Really? It caught up to you.
Yeah.
You could only slow it down so much.
Yeah, probably that KFC yesterday caught up with me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. So you know what? Yeah, man. This is my Styrog right here. So I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna,
I'll have to bring out the
about the bullpups.
I'll have to bring out the Microtech.
Yeah, you got the Microtech. So, the one thing I would say about this, I just got this thing. It just comes in a cardboard box with one magazine, and that's about it.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. So you got a knife and you got all kinds of things.
Yeah, but that was also $2,000 too. So.
Yeah, nice case and all that. Yeah.
Oh man, I bought a Spider Co over the weekend. I'm just waiting for it to come in.
Oh, okay.
Spider Co knife. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I Big Daddy Unlimited right here, dude.
Well, you see how many Walther bucks you say?
I saved. I'm gonna say I saved somewhere very close to. It's more than 6 Walther bucks. I think it was about 8 Walther bucks.
Wow.
Boom.
Wow.
So I don't know what to tell you guys. You got to look in the description in the links. We have Big Daddy Unlimited in there. We've got hankstrange.tv in the description. So you guys have to check that out and all the other links that we have. Okay, what are you trying to show? What are you trying to show here?
Well, this is my Mora. This is like my my go-to knife here. It's like an all-purpose type knife. Yeah, Mora. Yeah, I think it's is that Sweden's?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So
those are very affordable as well, right? From my
they are. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Ivan says he hopes to get up his what he did at the creek by Wednesday. So.
Hey, Walter, that Glock knife you got just went up in value. You know that, right?
Well, I know that. I couldn't sell this thing. Well, I couldn't sell. I couldn't get rid of this.
No, you can. Yeah, don't sell.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
So
on that,
I don't get upset about a lot of things, but when I heard that he died, I'm just like going, man, that sucks.
You got, man, you need to case that, put that in the case then.
Yeah, Arlie Ermey was like Santa Claus for gun guys.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. So.
He had him lined up around the block. He was like Santa Claus for gun guys. Yeah. You gotta give 1,000 gun salute for Arlie Ermey, man. He was a good dude. Yeah. We're gonna have to end it on this note. We'll definitely see you guys tomorrow. Lola says tomorrow we've got 50 cal AK Brandon. The guy who did the 50 cal AK, he's coming in, Brandon, because the last time he was here, something went down, and we couldn't even talk about the 50 cal AK.
It was I forget what that was. Oh, the vote thing went down. I think.
Is that what happened? Oh my God. Okay, yeah, because he's in Florida too, right?
He is.
I think so. Was he? I can't remember, but he's gonna be here tomorrow. We'll talk to him. Plus, we have Sam from Forge from Freedom, so we have him tomorrow. So, like I said, man, this show is dedicated to Arlie Ermey, man. He was a cool dude.
Yep.
Shout outs to him. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace out.
Goodbye.